What's good, anime enthusiasts? We have a, I'll say, interesting and chill episode for Shiboyugi. This is, if you thought the last episode was kind of kind of mellow, as when I felt, you're also going to feel that with this one, but a whole lot more. Not much goes really on. This is more of a intermission and interlude. This is a setup for our next death game that we're going to play for the next episode that we're going to have. But in this time, it also gives us a break in the action of what we just had, like 4 episodes of almost non-stop death defying and life-threatening action. Now this is the calm period. Let's take a breather. Let's try to explain some things that is not pertaining to the death game, or maybe we do and learn about the whole entire world. And this is what this episode was. We get a little bit more world building. However, it's more abstract, as is the kind of the overarching theme and subplay this series is going on. It's abstract. You're still gonna ask questions. There's a lot of moving parts in this whole entire world. There's so many players trying to do things that it really does make this world feel alive, and I like that. But some people, I guess, some minds will think that they're probably doing too much. Maybe we'll see. The execution is kind of, has to be seen. We'll see if there's any big payoffs and everything, and certainly we will. And of course, the last few minutes of the episode, it goes from like 1 to 1,000. There's so much happens. However, there's only at least two, I'll say, gripes that I have with this. One thing that we're probably not gonna see, unfortunately. Well, we're not gonna see that would really help explain things. And a second thing, which is something we'll not get to also since past that point, but I kind of wish a certain character had a little bit more time away from the screen so that we can see and appreciate the growth. And with that intro out of the way, let's really get into it. So Yuki is now in a slightly empty room with her agent, her handler, and she is answering like an interview. She's in an interview answering these questions. And, she introduces herself and she says, this is the Yuki that has completed her 27th game. This is the game before Ghost House, before we meet King Ko, Aoi, and the rest of them. So we have to learn why did Yuki start playing these death games? Well, Yuki she wanted money. She was chronically broke and she was scouted by management and she decided to participate. And eventually she made enough money after a few games, but she didn't stop playing. Naturally, the next question is, why? And it starts to devolve a bit as she's like speaking, but not really giving like a clear answer. Saying that she thought she could keep doing it, just keep playing games. She thought she could make a living out of it. And this is a 27th game. She is making a living out of it. And she knows she'll likely, perish if she keeps playing. But she'll become an actual ghost, which kind of goes in tail with her name, as it is, as Yuki says, spelled with the kanji ghost and oni. The next question is, well, since you feel that way, well, what about now? And there isn't an answer. We don't get an answer, except we just get a scene change to Yuki waiting outside after the interview. And there's just a little, I guess, cultural detail that's put that I don't know too much on, and I don't know if anybody who's watching or listening in can kind of explain it. So Yuki tells her agent handler, hey, Suzuki that grass is supposed to be for Yuki. So it's like a meeting for ghosts. It's like, isn't that? And she says isn't that a little bit too simplistic? Now, in my limited knowledge, I don't really get this cultural detail. I wish I did. So what it is, for my little research, that Suzuki grass is mainly like a representation or something that's used or I guess, demonstrated in what's called Tsukimi. Yeah. And Tsukimi means moon viewing. God, I cannot talk. Uh, Tsukimi is another way of saying moon viewing. It's a celebration in Japanese culture uh, that dates way back when, and that sounds neat. I, I if anything, this is like a lost in translation kind of thing. It may be a hint towards something else. It just might be a cute little detail. I don't know, but it said I thought it'd be cool. All right, I hope it's something that's interesting. If not, cute detail, it is what it is. Moving on. Yuki is now in a car and being driven by her agent, and there's a green bottle with a pill inside. And while she's in the car, her agent tells Yuki, "Hey, next game's coming up. It's called Ghost House." Hence the 20th game. Get a few scenes of what the Ghost House is. Not too many. And afterwards, we get a scene where Yuki's outside at this little, not playground area, but more scrap yard, old building, scaffolding area. And this is directly after episode 1, where Yuki is talking with the white haired lady. I said, okay, now they're talking. And there's a bit of conversation going on about Yuki's coming up on her 30th game, and veterans who reach their 30 games, they start to let down their guard sometimes, and Yuki might be in that position. And it's colloquially known as the Wall of 30. And this person she's talking to, it's like, say she said, it's nothing so ambiguous. If you feel like everything is working against you, you feel like you're under attack from the whole entire world. And Yuki's like, hey, what do I do? And the other person's like, hey, it would be so much easier if we knew. It's like, I don't know. So after that, we get the next scene. Yuki wakes up from sleep, from a nap, and she starts walking around, and she picks up something, and then eventually it just drops out of her hand. And Yuki is like starting to feel the effects of the sedative that's being given at the start of the game and at the end of the game, likely to not let the players know where these games are being held. And we get to see Yuki go for a walk. And while she's going for a walk, she starts reflecting on 2 games that she's done, both Ghost House, number 28, and number 29, Dangerous Lab. And then she drops that she knew her play had been shameful in both games. Now, to take an aside on this, I guess we as an audience can't really see how Yuki views Ghost House as shameful. We definitely can't see number 29, Dangerous Lab, because we don't get to see it at all. I mean, we get to see a scene, but none of the characters are Yuki. We don't see like whatever she's done in it. But if we try to analyze what she's done in Ghost House, I don't see or can really comprehend on how shameful it can be or what you've done. I think Yuki played to the best of her abilities. She led the group. She was the only veteran. Most of the others were on their first or second game. Did some of the girls perish? Yeah. There wasn't anything that she could really do. I mean, at the end of it, 3 of the girls had to go anyway. And if anything, I don't think Yuki can play this altruistic playstyle to the end, because as far as the 2 death games that we've seen so far, that being Scrapbuilding and Ghost House, there's always been this one trap / obstacle at the end to where somebody is guaranteed to perish. No ifs, ands, or buts. Somebody had to get voted out during Scrapbuilding. 3 girls had to disappear in Ghost House. It is what it is. I don't think Yuki should be beating herself up for it. But maybe she thought she could. But I don't know. It's something internal. And this kind of gets into a little bit to where Yuki is starting to become an unreliable narrator. We'll get more into that as we go along. But after that, she goes back to her apartment, and we get a long scene of her getting like restless in her sleep. And as another little side, there's a lot of scenes in this particular episode where they're very long takes. And for those who aren't really into like scenes that don't amount to much of anything, that have very few details but have a lot more ambient sound, probably not gonna like it. But at the same time, if you're in episode 5 and you're still watching, you're kind of in for the ride anyway. So hey, welcome to the club. But then we get a few more scenes of what Yuki is, I guess, going back to that interview. I guess it's a lot of words that he says as if he's attempting to answer a question. And the big things that I got out of it is that what's essential to her was her luck and meeting her mentor, the white-haired lady that she was talking to before, Hakushi. And she's trying to find the words to answer the why question, but there's nothing that really can come to her. And at the end, she said she thought it was fine. She thought it was fine. And then we get a little bit of her breaking down, remembering Aoi and Kinko from Ghost House. So Yuki, even though she looks and feels like a ghost, as what some of these characters kind of like play her as, she does have these deep feelings. She only really has, it's like the only moment where we see her to actually show emotion. And it's quite powerful, but we only going to see it for like a couple of seconds. But after that, Yuki gets up from her bed once again, like another scene, and she goes for a walk, a really long walk. And she's going somewhere underground. And there's a scene where it's like somebody's actually walking up behind her, and somebody gets her attention, but we don't really see the person. However, there's a payphone that rings, and she answers the phone. She said, "Who is this?" And another dude is on the line. His name is Kaneko, and he says that he owes Yuki much for what she did for his daughter. His daughter is Kinko from Ghost House, and he found about Yuki by using his quote-unquote network, whatever that means. And Yuki is like, okay, did you know about Kinko's last moments? He doesn't even answer that question. He just says, hey, we are planning to destroy that game. That game probably being the whole system that Yuki is with, playing all these tech games, maybe. And he would like Yuki's help. And he said, yo, we'll give you all the support that you need to live afterwards. We can even find you new employment if you want. And Yuki's like, bruh, we are not on the same page. Do you think I'm participating in these games like I'm trapped? Do you think I'm like doing this because somebody's holding a gun to my head? And the dude's on like, you're not? And then the guy, after like a long pause, is like, well, hey, anyway, look underneath that phone for a transmitter. Swallow that before the next game. We would like your cooperation. Goodbye. And Yuki's like, wait, what? She couldn't even get a word in. And it's a little pill that she pockets. Next scene in the car, Yuki's being driven to her next game. And she, of course, gets the sedative that she uses before. However, it's a new sedative. They were out of the old ones. And then the handler says, hey, the effects should be the same. 30th game coming up, Yuki takes the transmitter pill instead of the one that she was given by the handler. And then she says it's hard to swallow. Her vision starts to fade. This is the setup happening. Both her and her third person voice start to speak as they're going through the experience. And then we get into the last few final scenes. The real when it really gets ooh. So Yuki doesn't wake up. This is not even Yuki at all. It's a new girl. Nice, hair. She looks cute. And she wakes up in this like shower room type of place. And, she gets embarrassed being naked, but she puts on a towel. And then something drops and she picks up this rectangular thing. And eventually she gets out of the room. She starts exploring and she goes to the main open area. And it's a really big bathhouse. If you ever played Subliminal and you're in that whole little warrior area, think of that. But, not so scary. And as she's looking around, she hears some girls laughing. And then she's like, "Oh my god, hey, I'm glad nobody escaped. Hi, my name is Mikan. How are you?" And then we see these three girls who are huddled around something. They look at Mikan. They don't even know who she is. And the one of them was like interested in what Mikan has. And then as she moves, we see what the girls are huddled around. It's another girl, but her head is underneath the water. And there's two hands on her back. One on her back and one on her head. She's not moving. Hey, that thing in Mika's hand is a tag. And the red girl, the red haired girl is like pressuring Mika and say, "Hey, let me see it. Hey, let's team up. Hey, this, hey, that, not really giving her time to breathe." And of course, there's a few quick cuts of scenes where Mikan is trying to like think about her options. The body floats nearby, and Mikan is like about to pass it off, but she fakes it. She raises it above him, like she smacks the red-haired girl with it, knocking her off. And I'm like, "Oh snap!" And she darts off. He tries to escape, and the other two girls, they chase after her. And unfortunately, Mikan is like stumbling, trying to climb over things, falling into the water. And then two girls come down the steps, one with a green hair, that's a new face, and then, oh, there's Mishiro. What you doing here? Anyway, Mikan gets cornered by those other two girls and the new one, and they grab her. Mikan struggles, and let's just say Mikan just drank a whole lot of bath water. And she's gone. Yeah, she's gone. Yeah, she's gone. And Mishiro, she gets the tag. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, one for Mishiro, I guess. And then Yuki comes out of the shower. Death game 30. Golden bath is about to begin. Yo. Okay. Before no. I'll do the good stuff first. Yo, Mishiro back once again, and she's moving different. I was talking to my friend JD about this, and I saw, man, I don't know if this is like intentional symbolism or not, but Mishiro is moving like she's the alpha of the wolf pack. And remember back in scrap building, where she got jumped by a wolf, now she's the alpha wolf. I don't know. I don't know if that's like intentional or not, but that sounds cool in my head canon. Also, there's like a lot more girls in this death game. I think there's like 8 so far that we've seen. And this is kind of alluding to what Hakushi was mentioning, how like everything might seem to go against Yuki. This is kind of it. Yuki is up against 5 other girls already, all possibly underneath Mishiro. Now, who's to say these other girls might be trying to undercut Mishiro at the end? Who really knows? They just took out 2 girls. They're gone. Unfortunately. Mikan, I have never felt so bad for an anime character who I just got like 1 minute to know. And we saw her wake up. She gets a thing, she goes off, she's like talks to these other girls, and you see the tense situation because one girl's already gone that they defeated. They're like, "Oh, girl, you gotta get out of there, girl, you gotta get out of there." And then instead of like running away immediately, she smacks one girl and runs off. I was like, "Okay, there you go. Oh, you got caught. Well, she's gone." Immediately, like an emotional roller coaster. Man, hey, remember Mishiro said she'll keep playing death games until she can beat Yuki in one way or another. But that's also kind of like another gripe I have with it. Do you think, let me know if you guys think I'm like off my rocker about this, but do you think they showed the rematch between Mishiro and Yuki too early? Like, I would like some time, at least play one death game before Mishiro and Yuki meet, so we can have that fateful rematch. Now, narrative wise, it does make sense because Scrap Buildings was number 10. This is 20 death games later until Yuki and Mishiro meet again. Now, who's to say how many more games Mishiro played since Scrap Building? Who really knows? But in a more real world sense, to where us watching the anime, we just had Mishiro like 2 episodes ago, like 2 back-to-back episodes ago. I would really like to be like a whole nother cast. Let's like not really forget about Mishiro. Let's just put her off to the wayside. But we should know that we know Mishiro's there. We know Mishiro has to go against Yuki. We can put that on the back burner. Let's drum up some more characters for Yuki to go against in these other death games. Like, say for instance, if I saw Dangerous Lab, if we saw Dangerous Lab, I'd be okay with that. And then a couple episodes down the line, now give us Golden Bath. Now give us the fateful rematch against Mishiro and Yuki. That'd be cool. I'd be okay with that. But it kind of does feel like that we just saw Mishiro before. Now we get her again. It's cool to have that rematch, but it's a bit like we get it back to back. Us watching it. That's how I really feel, and that's really like one of the only 2 gripes that I have. The other gripe I have was the other gripe I had was we don't see Dangerous Lab. That's pretty much it. So those are at least the only 2 gripes that I had. But other than that, awesome episode. Even though it was kind of chill, we get a little bit more on the outside world, and still we got more questions. But let me know what y'all think about the episode in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win against Mishiro and Yuki? I think at least Mishiro and Yuki gotta team up against the other girls. I feel it that way. I feel Mishiro's like, dang, Yuki, I can't beat you, so I might as well team up you. Let's get the dynamic duo, or maybe we can get an epic knife fight between Mishiro and Yuki. Who really knows? But until then, hope all of you have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, and I hope your day is just a little bit better than it already is. With that, we'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.